So in my last video, I talked about how I thought that a PC has just as much convenience as a console with regard to the one button capability, which is an objection that someone on my, channel brought up. They said, with a console right out the box, it's a one button, you turn on your TV, one button, you turn on your PS5, one button, you set the correct output and all that stuff. And, a console is more convenient and a PC is not nearly as convenient, that I should stop capping. And so I made a video debunking that because that's nonsense. You can do that on a console. In fact, I actually showed a video on the internet where someone did a tutorial, very short tutorial. You can basically go into your settings on Steam. You can have your Windows computer boot up on any input and open up Steam's big picture mode. You don't have to do anything. In fact, you can even configure your PC for your controller to power up your PC when you actually turn on your controller. Yes, it's a thing. But one thing we all have to understand too is a PC is more than just a gaming device. So what I want to do in this video is I want to actually add more to that convenience list, because this talk about updates and all of that stuff is funny, seeing as when you actually buy an iPhone, you actually have to do more setup for your iPhone than you do for your gaming PC to actually make it work, like a console would if you wanted that interface and that user friendliness. In this particular video, we're going to start out with the fact that the convenience of a PC beats the console simply from the perspective of you can use whichever controller or controller input you want on a PC. You cannot do this on a console simply because the hardware manufacturers have limitations that they've actually set when it comes to their platforms. Now, in the case of Xbox and even PlayStation, you can use cross-generation controllers. In the case of PlayStation, in some instances, if the game has a PlayStation 4 version, you can use the PS4 controller on your PS5. And if the game has a PS5 version alone, you can only use a PS5 controller. What this means is you're more than likely not going to have access to some games with the controller of your choice if you prefer an older generation controller. In fact, the PS3 controller is not going to work on a PS4 and will never work on a PS5. However, you can use that PS3 controller on a PC if you choose to. You can use the Xbox 360 controller if you also choose to on your PC. For those of you who mourn and long for the 360 days, well, get a gaming PC and you can play a lot of those 360 games using your 360 controller. It's all your choice. Now, this is seemingly something that may be small for some people, but you got to understand that when it comes to some games where the stakes are higher, like competitive games, this is no longer a question, which most of us who are gamers, we may play, say, some single-player games, or some of us love single-player games, but there's an aspect where we've either played competitive games or we play some competitive games on the side. For me, it's fighting games. You see me on Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1, and believe it or not, I have controller preferences for both of them. Mortal Kombat, I cannot play with an Xbox controller proficiently. For some reason, my inputs don't work very well. I think I fat figure on my directionality buttons, and it just doesn't work out for me. But you give me a PlayStation controller, be it a PS4 or PS5 controller, and I can play Mortal Kombat very proficiently. In the case of Street Fighter, I cannot play Street Fighter proficiently with the PlayStation controller. I don't know what it is, but I use Zangief. And Zangief is a character whose moves require that you do 360 and 180 inputs in your directions before you can actually do your lariats and all of your other moves. With the PlayStation controller, I basically somehow would jam the analog stick and it basically pushes me out, or when I try to do my lariats, it doesn't work because of the position or whatever it is, too close to my directionality, whatnot. So I find myself leaning towards an Xbox controller. This is why I play my fighting games on PC, because I got to use two controllers, and man, I do not want to go fire up one console just so that I can play this one game on there and fire up another console so I can use the controller. I can just use those same controllers, my PS5 and Series controllers, on the same device. Now that is the definition of convenience, because convenience means anything that makes a process or makes something easy and useful for the user. You can't do this on console, so the conversation is not even to be had. That's 1-0 on top of everything else that a PC does better than a console. The second thing is the multitasking capabilities. Believe it or not, some people like to, I don't know what it is, watch videos and play games at the same time. Now, this is something that a lot of PC players do and they talk about, and I always used to wonder, why do people do that? You're playing a game, you can just enjoy the game. But believe you me, you want to watch YouTube videos, you want to play a game. So opportunity cost says choose the one that you want. But on PC, you don't have to. You connect a secondary monitor, and now you're able to pretty much expand your usability in multiple, windows or multiple screens. And so you can basically have 2 monitors, 3 monitors, 4 monitors on your PC, depending on how you do your setup, because GPUs will come most of the time with about 3 to 4 video outputs, especially since like the 10 series. These have been a thing, and you can basically connect, HDMIs, DVIs, and you can, do multitasking as much as you want. You can do your assignment if you want to game on the side while you're taking a break from your assignment. If you want to watch a YouTube video, whatever you want to do, the multifunctional capability is just insane. You can edit your videos depending on how powerful your computer is. You can be rendering a video and you can be playing a game at the same time. Many people may not recommend it, but many people do it at the same time, because at that point you're waiting for a process to complete, and it doesn't need to basically brick your whole system to do it. So in terms of multifunction capabilities, a PC is just better. This is why a PC had always, in my opinion, been more appealing. Now, if this is not something that is your cup of tea, I'm not saying that you're doing something wrong. I'm just saying that in the case of convenience, it is not even a question when we actually start weighing the little nuances here and there as to exactly what it is that your, PC is capable of doing. It's always been that way, but, with the whole conversation about consoles and PCs, there are many layers that have to pretty much be taken care of in the conversation, because what I've noticed is a lot of the perceptions, sometimes they mask themselves as reality. We've talked about cost for the last few months. I've been talking about how, you can build a gaming PC that actually does the job as good as a console for about the same price it will cost you to run that console, especially when you look into PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live, which is now Game Pass Core, and look at how much the games cost on, console compared to PC. You're better off, if cost is the issue, buying or building yourself a PC. Don't buy a PC, build one. You can do it. If you can put Legos together, if you can put a jigsaw puzzle together, you can build a PC. It is not any magical thing. You got this. So, thanks for watching the video. On these 2 points, I strongly believe that you cannot match the convenience of a gaming PC. It's not a fair comparison, but there's no need to play fair. I think at this point we need to call what is exactly what is. Thanks once again. Peace out.